Yo, so this is Bake. Here, let me delete this because I recorded this earlier and it was kind of scuffed. But anyways, so in this clip, I want to track this Lux cue, right? And it moves during the camera motion twice, right? And I'm going to show you how to track this, how I would normally do, right? So you get your transform node, and I'm going to go, Lux cue comes out like at 40, so I'm going to go, from 10 to 20, yeah, from frame 10 to frame 20, I'm going to zoom in, right? So from 10 is kind of like the point I'm going to zoom in from. And then on 10 frames later, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to track the locks here. Awesome. And then now basically I'm just going to track forward until I see the Lux key come out. So, frame 40. So I'm going to track the last point that I want to keep Lux being like the main focus point. I'm going to go like 10 frames forward and then start moving to the Lux cue, right? Pretty simple stuff, whatever, right? We track in and then we're tracking this. So now the hard part, which is actually pretty easy if you try to understand kind of like what I'm trying to tell you. So basically, I'm just going to track this until the camera moves, right? So basically, I'm going to keep going forward, one frame at a time. And at this point, the camera starts moving, right? Like the camera's moving at this point. So I'm going to go one frame before it, so I can add like a keyframe. So this is the one frame before. I'm going to add a keyframe. Now I'm going to go all the way through until until the camera stops moving, right? Which is at this point, right? The camera is still moving, and it stopped moving, right? At this point. So I'm going to add my last keyframe. Awesome. Even though this right here is kind of jank, we'll fix it up once we have like the bare bones of the tracking. So I'm gonna keep going forward until the camera moves. So one frame before it, I'm gonna track it. Then I'm gonna keep going forward until the camera stops moving, which is this frame. And then I'm gonna drop a point. And then, I'll go from like 105 and then I'll zoom out 115. Very basic, normal stuff. So now if I play it back for you, it's kind of jank, but it has like the bare bones, right? So now we're moving. And then at this point, here's like the camera movement, right? So I'm going to go to like the frames that are like the most offensive. And I'm going to add keyframes, right? So like at this point, I can move it like a little bit more to the left, right? Or to the right. Now if we keep going forward, right, there's like this jitter. So I'm going to add a keyframe here. This jitter, and I'm going to keep going forward, right? So now we play it through, it's pretty smooth. And there's one more here. Like there's a jitter right here, so I'm going to move it here. There's a jitter right here. So if I keep playing through, right, it's pretty simple. And it's a lot easier to now track the shot because I added like that foundation of like I was just tracking when the camera was moving, and I don't need to add any more points when it's not moving, right? When it's like a static image, I don't need to like really add more keyframes than I need to because it only makes it more complicated. And that's basically it, right? Like you have the bare bones, I tracked it, and then I corrected it with like the keyframes in between when it was out of line, right? And that's it. I mean, it's really simple stuff. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you. Take it easy.